Shuri, a Black Panther novel by Nick Stone. Shuri is a skilled martial artist, a genius, and a master of science and technology. But she's also a teenager and a princess. This story follows Shuri as she sets out on a quest to save her homeland of Wakanda. For centuries, the chieftain of Wakanda, the Black Panther, has gained his powers through the juices of the heart-shaped herb. Much like vibranium, the heart-shaped herb is essential to the survival and prosperity of Wakanda. But something is wrong. The plants are dying. No matter what the people of Wakanda do, they can't save them. And their supply is running short. It's up to Shuri to travel from Wakanda in order to discover what is killing the herb and how she can save it, in the first volume of this all-new original adventure. Ghost Squad by Claribel Ortega. Shortly before Halloween, Lucille and her best friend Sid cast a spell that accidentally awakens malicious spirits, wreaking havoc throughout St. Augustine. Together, they must join forces with Sid's witch grandmother, Babette, and her tubby-tabby, Chunk, to fight the haunting head-on and reverse the curse to save the town and Lucille's firefly spirits before it's too late. The Last Day of Summer by Lamar, Giles. Otto and Sheed are the local sleuths in their zany Virginia town, masters of unraveling mischief using their unmatched powers of deduction. And as the summer winds down and the first day of school looms, the boys are craving just a little bit more time for fun, even as they bicker over what kind of fun they want to have. That is, until a mysterious man appears with a camera that literally freezes time. Now, with the help of some very strange people and even stranger creatures, Otto and Sheed will have to put aside their differences to save their town, and each other, before time stops for good. Look Both Ways, a tale told in 10 blocks, by Reynolds. This story was going to begin like all the best stories, with a school bus falling from the sky. But no one saw it happen. They were all too busy talking about boogers, stealing pocket change, skateboarding, wiping out, braving up, executing complicated handshakes, planning an escape, making jokes, lotioning up, finding comfort, but mostly too busy walking home. My Life as an Ice Cream Sandwich by Zoboi. 12-year-old Ebony Grace Norfleet has lived with her beloved grandfather Jeremiah in Huntsville, Alabama, ever since she was little. As one of the first Black engineers to integrate NASA, Jeremiah has nurtured Ebony Grace's love for all things outer space and science fiction, especially Star Wars and Star Trek. But in the summer of 1984, when trouble arises with Jeremiah, it's decided she'll spend a few weeks with her father in Harlem. Harlem is an exciting and terrifying place for a sheltered girl from Huntsville, and Ebony Grace's first instinct is to retreat into her imagination. But soon, 126th Street begins to reveal that it has more in common with her beloved sci-fi adventures than she ever thought possible, and by summer's end, Ebony Grace discovers that Harlem has a place for a girl whose eyes are always on the stars. Clean Getaway by Nick Stone. How to go on an unplanned road trip with your grandma. Grab a suitcase, pre-packed from the big spring break trip that got cancelled. Fasten your seatbelt. Grandma's never conventional, so this trip won't be either. Use the green book, Grandma's most treasured possession. It holds history, memories, and most important, the way home. What not to bring? A cell phone. Avoid contact with Dad at all costs, even when Grandma starts acting stranger than usual. The Only Black Girls in Town by Brandy Colbert. Beach-loving surfer Alberta has been the only black girl in town for years. Alberta's best friend, Laramie, is the closest thing she has to a sister, but there are some things even Laramie can't understand. When the bed and breakfast across the street finds new owners, Alberta is ecstatic to learn the family is Black, and they have a 12-year-old daughter just like her. Alberta is positive she and the new girl, Edie, will be fast friends. But while Alberta loves being a California girl, Edie misses her native Brooklyn and finds it hard to adapt to small-town living. When the girls discover a box of old journals in Edie's attic, they team up to figure out exactly who's behind them and why they got left behind. Soon they discover shocking and painful secrets of the past and learn that nothing is quite what it seems. When Life Gives You Mangoes by Kereen Getten. A small village on a Jamaican island, a girl who doesn't remember the previous summer, a best friend who is no longer acting like one, a new girl who fills that hole in her heart. A summer of finding fallen mangoes, creating made-up games and dancing in the rain. Secrets she keeps from others and herself. The courage to face the truth, even in the toughest of storms. From the Desk of Zoe Washington by Janae Marks. Zoe Washington isn't sure what to write. What does a girl say to the father she's never met, hadn't heard from until his letter arrived on her 12th birthday, and who's been in prison for a terrible crime? A crime he says he never committed. Could Marcus really be innocent? Zoe is determined to uncover the truth, even if it means hiding his letters and her investigation from the rest of her family. Everyone else thinks Zoe's worrying about doing a good job at her bakery internship and proving to her parents that she's worthy of auditioning for Food Network's Kids Bake Challenge. But with bakery confections on one part of her mind and Marcus's conviction weighing heavily on the other, this is one recipe Zoe doesn't know how to balance. The only thing she knows to be true? Everyone lies. Root Magic by Eden Royce. It's 1963, and things are changing for Jezebel Turner. Her beloved grandmother has just passed away. The local police deputy won't stop harassing her family. With school integration arriving in South Carolina, Jez and her twin brother, Jay, are about to begin the school year with a bunch of new kids. But the biggest change comes when Jez and Jay turn 11, and their uncle, Doc, tells them he's going to train them in root work. Jez and Jay have always been fascinated by the African American folk magic that has been the legacy of their family for generations, especially the curious potions and powders Doc and Gran would make for the people on their island. But Jez soon finds out that her family's true power goes far beyond small charms and elixirs, and not a moment too soon, because when evil, both natural and supernatural, comes to show itself in town, it's going to take every bit of the magic she has inside her to see her through. The Season of Styx Malone by Kekla Magoon. Caleb Franklin and his big brother Bobby Jean are excited to have adventures in the woods behind their house, but Caleb dreams of venturing beyond their ordinary small town. Then, Caleb and Bobby Jean meet new neighbor Styx Malone. Styx is 16 and oozes cool. Styx promises the brothers that together the three of them can pull off the great escalator trade, exchanging one small thing for something better until they achieve their wildest dream. But as the trades get bigger, the brothers soon find themselves in over their heads. Styx has secrets so big they could ruin everything. Before the Ever After by Jacqueline Woodson. For as long as ZJ can remember, his dad has been everyone's hero. As a charming, talented pro football star, he's as beloved to the neighborhood kids he plays with as he is to his millions of adoring sports fans. But lately, life at ZJ's house is anything but charming. His dad is having trouble remembering things and seems to be angry all the time. ZJ's mom explains it's because of all the head injuries his dad sustained during his career. ZJ can understand that, but it doesn't make the sting any less real when his own father forgets his name. As ZJ contemplates his new reality, he has to figure out how to hold on tight to family traditions and recollections of the glory days, all the while wondering what their past amounts to if his father can't remember it. And most importantly, can those happy feelings ever be reclaimed when they're all so busy aching for the past? Some Places More Than Others by Renée Watson. All Amara wants for her birthday is to visit her father's family in New York City, Harlem to be exact. She can't wait to finally meet her Grandpa Earl and cousins in person, and to stay in the brownstone where her father grew up. Maybe this will help her understand her family and herself in new ways. But New York City is not exactly what Amara thought it would be. It's crowded, with confusing subways, suffocating sidewalks, and her father is too busy with work to spend time with her, and too angry to spend time with Grandpa Earl. As she explores, asks questions, and learns more and more about Harlem and about her father and his family history, she realizes how, in some ways more than others, she connects with him, her home, and her family. King and the Dragonflies by Kacen Callender. 12-year-old Kingston James is sure his brother Khalid has turned into a dragonfly. When Khalid unexpectedly passed away, he shed what was his first skin for another to live down by the bayou in their small Louisiana town. Khalid still visits in dreams, and King must keep these secrets to himself as he watches grief transform his family. It would be easier if King could talk with his best friend, Sandy Sanders. But just days before he died, Khalid told King to end their friendship after overhearing a secret about Sandy, that he thinks he might be gay. You don't want anyone to think you're gay too, do you? But when Sandy goes missing, sparking a town-wide search, and King finds his former best friend hiding in a tent in his backyard, he agrees to help Sandy escape from his abusive father, and the two begin an adventure as they build their own private paradise down by the bayou and among the dragonflies. As King's friendship with Sandy is reignited, he's forced to confront questions about himself and the reality of his brother's death. Hurricane Child by Kacen Callender. Carolyn Murphy is a hurricane child. Being born during a hurricane is unlucky, and 12-year-old Carolyn has had her share of bad luck lately. She's hated and bullied by everyone in her small school on St. Thomas of the U.S. Virgin Islands. A spirit only she can see won't stop following her. And, worst of all, Carolyn's mother left home one day and never came back. But when a new student named Callender arrives, Carolyn's luck begins to turn around. Callender, a solemn girl from Barbados with a special smile for everyone, becomes Carolyn's first and only friend, and the person for whom Carolyn has begun to develop a crush. Now Carolyn must find the strength to confront her feelings for Callender, brave the spirit stalking her through the islands, and face the reason her mother abandoned her. Together, Carolyn and Callender must set out in a hurricane to find Carolyn's missing mother, before Carolyn loses her forever.